Adolf Hitler, born in Braunau am Inn, Austria in 1889, was the leader of the Nazi Party from 1920 to 1921, Chancellor and Führer of Germany from 1933 to 1945. He became the Chancellor after the death of former Chancellor Paul von Hindenburg. He spent most of his childhood in the capital of Austria, Linz, after his father's retirement from the State Customs Service, and it remained his favourite city throughout his life, and he also wished to be buried there. His father, Alois Hitler Sr., died on the 3rd of January 1903 and left the pension to his wife and children. Although Hitler disliked and was afraid of his father, he moved to Vienna and used a small amount of the pension to support himself as an artist, because he had always wanted to be one. He later moved back to Linz, and then in 1913 to Germany, where he joined the military in 1914. He was removed from the Austrian military service for being unfit due to weak physical form. When World War I broke out on the 28th of July 1914, he begged Bavarian King Louis III to be allowed to serve in the war, and one day he was notified that he would be allowed to join the 16th Bavarian Infantry Regime. After 8 weeks of training in October 1914, he was first deployed into Belgium to fight in the Battle of Ypres. He was continuously put into the front line of battle and was awarded with an Iron Cross, second class, in December of 1914. And in August 1918 he was awarded with an Iron Cross, first class. He was enthusiastic about war as a relief from civilian life and believed in the heroic virtues of it. On the 30th of April 1945, when Soviet troops entered the heart of Berlin, Hitler committed suicide in his underground bunker. Hitler abused power by killing some 6 million Jews, homosexuals, gypsies, Jehovah's Witnesses, and many others. In the Holocaust, the Nazi regime created 42,000 camps, including concentration camps, prisoner of war camps, and forced labor camps. In concentration camps, prisoners with a security threat were incarcerated for an indefinite amount of time, and small groups of Jews were murdered away from the public. In forced labor camps and prisoner of war camps, many prisoners died of exhaustion, starving, and exposure. In some camps, even medical experiments were performed on the prisoners, and most would not make it out alive. In 1941, following the Nazi invasion of the Soviet Union, many concentration camps became prisoner of war camps, and thousands of Soviet prisoners of war were shot and/or gassed. Victims of the Holocaust would feel angry, sad, and they would want revenge. Linda Tischler said that Auschwitz was literal hell, and that you could smell the fear in the air. A testimony from Barbara Stilmer said, "When we go to Auschwitz, which I didn't know it was Auschwitz, I didn't know nothing about it. I didn't know about the concentration camps. I did not know what was going on at all. When we got there, they just told us, raus, 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 which means out. They started separating women from men. It was just terrible. The husbands were from wives, the mothers from sons. It was just a nightmare." Hitler could have been stopped much easier if one of his allies from the Italian or Japanese army had realized that Hitler was a madman. Maybe they could have influenced the other army and they would have all worked together to stop Hitler, and it could have been much easier and stopped many of thousands of deaths.